what's going on guys, Kades here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best Soulfist PvE build in Lost Ark. So in this guide I will show you what abilities and awakening skill you want to get, then I will explain what are the best engravings and cards to use for endgame content. And then lastly I will show you the best gameplay and even which stats you need to allocate for PvE, so you would be able to get the best results and highest damage possible and much more. So no matter how low or high level or gear score your character is, you can easily use this build and follow the step-by-step guide. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So the Soulfist is a well-rounded class with good mobility, single target and AoE damage. This combination makes the leveling and PvE experience pretty smooth. This class has World Decimation ability, which is the highest single target damage skill in the game. She raises both hands in the air collecting energy, which forms into a huge dense energy ball that eradicates everything. And then at the endgame we will be using the robust spirit engraving, which will make the Soulfist one of the strongest burst damage dealers in Lost Ark. And then lastly, the Soulfist as well synergizes very good with the other burst focus classes, as you can increase the party's attack damage and defenses with your energy release ability and much more. Okay, so now let's move over to the build itself, and these are the skills you want to have. So then for the first ability we have the Lightning Palm, and we use just 4 levels to unlock the prepared attack, and then for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. Then for the second ability we have the Heavenly Squash, and this time we use 7 levels to select the Hard Hitter and Burning Hands. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Judgment. Then for the next one we have the Pulverizing Palm skill, and we use 7 more levels to unlock the Excellent Mobility and Ready Attack. And then for your rune you want to get the Bleed. Then for the fourth ability we have the Shadow Breaker, and we use 10 levels to select the Predator, Weak Point Detection and Sixth Sense. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Overwhelm. Then for the next one we have the Merciless Pummel ability, and we use once again 10 levels to unlock the Hard Hitter, Cold Hearted and Double Up. And then for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. So then for one of the last abilities we have the Force Orb, and we use 10 levels to select the Quick Preparation, Powerful Wave and Scattering Wave. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Conviction. Then for the 7th ability we have the Flash Step, and this time we use just 4 levels to unlock the Excellent Mobility. And then for your rune you want to get the Quick Recharge. And then for the last and final ability we have the Energy Release, and we use our last 10 levels to select the Fighting Spirit Enhancement, Energy Release Enhancement and Ready Attack. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. Then as well after level 50 for your awakening skill you want to get the World Decimation. But if you haven't reached level 50 yet, then here's a specific guide on which abilities you should upgrade first while leveling with the Soulfist. And then on top of all this, focus on equipping as high item level gear as you can. And then at the end game you should have 350 crit and 1250 specialization. But again, if you haven't reached this point yet, then try to have around 30% stats into crit and 70% stats into specialization. Okay, so then the way I would recommend to upgrade this build is at level 50, you will get around 250 points. So this is how your build should look like. But then by doing more and more endgame content you will get more points. And at the absolute endgame this is how your build should look like with all the 384 skill points. So at the start you use the 240 point build, and then by leveling up and completing quests you will get more points. So just keep on improving your skills and getting higher tier runes as well. So then let's move over to the engravings, and you want to get the Robust Spirit. This engraving will skip a level 1 and level 2 hype and go directly into the level 3 hype. It also doubles your regeneration rate and increases the damage of your skills. So then the second engraving is called the Awakening, which allows you to cast your awakening skill called the World Decimation more often. As our build has very high specialization, we will do massive amounts of damage by using this engraving. Then the next one is called the Adrenaline, and this engraving will increase your crit rate and attack power. But expect that in tier 1 content this class won't be that easy to play, because it will take time for the Soulfist to get better with higher tier content. Then for the fourth engraving you want to get the Master of Ambush, and this engraving will synergize very well with most of your skills because of the back attack damage increase. Then the next one is called the Grudge, and this is more advanced engraving that is recommended for tier 3 content. This grudge is the most efficient engraving against mobs and you will get your damage increased, but in return you will take 20% more damage. So when you get to the very endgame content, which is called the tier 3, then get this engraving, and before using it, get it to at least level 2 because a level 1 engraving is not that efficient. And then for the last engraving we have the Cursed Doll, and this is a significant attack power increase at the cost of 25% healing penalty. This penalty can be offset by paying more attention on dodging red AoE circles and by using healing potions more often. So then in a quick summary, I would recommend to get the top 3 engravings first and then the bottom 3. And then last but not the least, let's move over to your cards, and you want to get a Shandy, a Zena and a Nana, Nineveh, Vey, Baldur and Tyrane. In general, these cards are an endgame system for maximizing your character, so you don't have to get them right away, but these specific cards will optimize your damage output in PvE even more. I did bunch of testing for this build and this was the best and most optimized card set. Okay, so then moving over to the gameplay, and if you have played this class while leveling, you will be very familiar with the skills. So I will just try to give you a short description. So the Soulfist identity skills have 3 levels that have to be manually increased, called hype. Higher identity level results in higher damage and attack speed, with shorter cooldowns at the cost of the duration decreasing every level. Level 1 hype lasts much longer than the level 3 hype, but as we are using in our build the robust spirit engraving, we will make you skip the first 2 levels, so you would be able to get directly to the 3 level hype, which will give you even more bonus stats and much more. So then the first ability is called the energy release, which releases a buff that will give you and your party members plus 40% attack power and minus 25% incoming damage. Then the merciless pummel ability is one of the strongest normal skills in Soulfist arsenal that hits the enemy multiple times. Then the next 2 abilities, called the heavenly squash and force orb, are 2 simple skills that drop a palm, deal damage and push down the target on the ground. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Shadow Breaker, and this skill is very good for quick counter attacks and to stagger the enemy. Then the Lightning Palm ability will give you a self buff for increased attack power and you will do a quick damage at the same time. And then moving over to the last and final 2 abilities, which are called the Flash Step and Pulverizing Palm. And these skills should be used as the gap closers between you and the enemy, while at the same time giving yourself a buff for more increased attack power. Then for your Awakening skill we have the World Decimation, which is the highest single target damage skill in the game. So when you activate the skill, your character raises both hands in the air, then it forms into a huge dense energy ball that deals massive amounts of damage. Okay, so then let's take a closer look at your best skill rotation, and I will give you 2 different options as this class mainly focuses on applying the attack power buffs. So then for the first rotation we will focus on the highest damage skill in the game, which is our Awakening skill. So if you have your Awakening skill available, then first of all enter the level 3 hype mode, then use the energy release buff to get massive attack power boost, and then activate your World Decimation skill and do massive amounts of damage. And then for the second option we have a normal skill rotation. So what you want to do is enter the level 3 hype if it's not on cooldown, then use your energy release, then merciless pummel, then shadow breaker, then force orb, then pulverizing palm, then heavenly squash, and then finish it off with the lightning palm skill. This class has different attack power buffs for herself and her teammates, so your main playstyle revolves around managing these buffs, and when you get to level 3 hype, then you use most of your abilities and do massive amounts of damage. So now in my last and final conclusions for this build, remember that your Awakening skill, called World Decimation, is the highest single target damage skill in the game, so don't forget to use it 24/7. Then second of all, the Soulfist is a burst damage focused class, so don't miss your skills and learn boss attack patterns. As I've said, this class takes more time and skill to play to its maximum potential, so be aware of that. And then lastly, use all of your attack power buffs wisely, because the small buffs like the Lightning Palm and Pulverizing Palm don't stack on top of each other, and that's about it. So I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other good Lost Ark PvE classes that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. If you are interested in the top 3 best PvE builds, or instead the top 3 best PvP builds, then check the links in the description or just scroll through my channel. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe, and enable that notification bell, so this way you can support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I'll catch you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.